what a great day it is. I'm so happy to be on here tonight. Of course, it's Thana Hickman. She again is the CEO and founder of Viola's House. And I want you to tell us exactly what Viola's House is. It is located in Dallas, Texas.
Yes.
We are so happy to have you here.
I'm the founder and CEO of Viola's House. And it's a maternity home. Well, that's what we're known for, right? A maternity home where we house teen moms that are homeless and pregnant. But the reality of Viola's House is that we actually focus on the social determinants of health. And housing is one of those things that impact the social determinants of health. And so our will is huge with what we focus on: food, transportation, education, economic stability, and all of the things that impact a mother's health, and especially during her maternal period.
I just wanted to let everybody know kind of who we are. We are the USA Fibroid Centers, and again, I am one of the ambassadors. And every month we do this chat, and it is called Talk About You, which is talk about your uterus and all things dealing with your uterus. And specifically here at Fibroid Centers, of course, we talk about fibroids, and we also offer a non-invasive surgery called the UFE. That is the uterine fibroid embolization. And so this non-surgical procedure we offer helps women to have another option to remove fibroids, and then hence allowing them to be able to, not be able to have all of the reproductive issues that surround fibroids. So we talk to women all over the nation, all over the world, in fact, about this epidemic that affects 90% of women of color.
Yes.
You just wrote a book. It is already on the bestseller list.
The book is here, No Place to Belong.
Tell us a little bit about this book and what prompted you, in addition to what I have already shared. What was your pain point that made you write this book?
Awareness, because people don't know. This book is real stories. It's eye-opening. One of the things I was most proud about with this book is the last chapter is a clear call to action. It tells you, after you read these stories and after you hear why this is an issue and what happens when there is a lack of access to healthcare, when there is a lack of education. After you read all of that and you have been compelled, the last chapter tells you how you can take action right from your couch at home.
What happens when a young woman finds out she has fibroids in your facility? What are next steps for you all?
So the next steps would be to consult and to see if there is a way to remove it during the pregnancy, or if she can make it through the pregnancy with the fibroids. I love giving real life stories. I do it all the time because the stories are all around. I have someone actually who works on my staff where we had to go through that with her, where she was pregnant and she experienced that pain and never had any idea that she had fibroids. But
Absolutely.
another thing that she dealt with is issues with even becoming pregnant. I'm going to ask Dion if she'll join really quickly to tell how she was educated on her fibroids during her second trimester. Okay? Her second trimester, her very first pregnancy, no indication of her ever having fibroids. At least she didn't think so. I asked questions and I said, well, did you have heavy cycles? Yeah, I did. I always had them. I just thought it was normal.
It's Dion, right?
Yes.
Yes. Well, and welcome to you.
Thank you.
How old were you when this happened?
I was 30 years old.
So tell us about were you able to carry the baby full term?
Yes, I carried my son full term. Thankfully, I ended up getting a C-section, and they told me that they removed them during my C-section.
Oh wow. Okay. Well, I'm grateful that you were able to carry the baby full term. But as Thana was sharing with us earlier, she mentioned that sometimes the fibroid can tear the placenta. Is that what I heard, Thana?
Yes, absolutely.
And there are
It
so
can,
many other things that can happen while you're
she could
pregnant.
have
But
been faced
Yeah,
with her uterus not having enough room for her baby to
yeah.
grow, right?
And I
There
already
could
had
have
a lot of
been,
fluid in my
yeah.
uterus. So on top of that, I had extra fluid in my uterus. Now, after that happened, I called my mom, and my mom said, "Oh yeah, I have fibroids too." And I said, "Well, thanks for not telling me, because I could have given my doctor a heads up." But then also, I was confused as to why my doctor didn't see this. As many times as I have been in the office,
right. So were you
why?
non-symptomatic prior?
So
So
all my life,
did you have any heavier than normal periods, lower
no.
back pain,
So
frequency in your nation,
no,
all the things that women deal with?
I had my cycles will last between 5 to 7 days, and I'll always clots, like quarter size clots would come out, and they
Mm,
were the most painful periods that I have ever had in life. I used to have to go get a doctor's note to come out of school because I could not stand during school when I was on my cycle. So my mom would have to come get me home, come get me from school every single time, and the doctors had me switching between, back then, Midol and Tylenol and Advil. So I could never take the same pills every month. I would have to switch. So 1 month on my cycle, I could take Midol. The next month, they recommended Tylenol. Then I could go back to Midol, but I could never take the same pills back to back because they were not working. And I never knew all these years. And I ended up getting on Depo in my late 20s. When I was 25, I ended up getting on Depo to remove my cycles because they were so painful and I was clotting so much. I would fill up a sanitary pad, like fill to the brim, like running over, and it will all be clots. Every time I would use the restroom, clots. Every time
Wow.
I'm in the shower, clots. And I never
These are
knew.
signs. These are telltale
yeah,
signs. So
yeah,
if you're
but
listening
no
right now,
education and
yes.
no,
Right.
you
No, but
know,
and this is the problem for your
mhm,
health. And so you have to ask the questions. One of the things that I challenge women with every single day is that if you know the latest songs on the radio, you got the latest outfit on, you
right.
know everything about makeup, you know about wigs and weaves and jewelry and the best brunch spots. Why is it that we don't know about our health? It is very important. If we listen, communication with your healthcare provider and early detection is going to be key, especially if you are trying to conceive,
Yeah, and
especially if you want to have a healthy life. I want you to tell us, Thana, what would you tell a young woman? What are the suggestions that you would give any young woman that's watching us right
okay.
now? Those that will come back and watch right now. I am at the doctor. I am having these pains, like Dion just said. What do they say to their doctor? This
I know my body and something is not right. This pain is not normal. You ask them to run every test. I know my body and something is not right. A pain med will not cure whatever is wrong. That is a band aid. I need a cure, and you don't know what to cure if you don't know what's wrong. Find out what's wrong with me.
if we could just tie that into some of the other disparities that you see
Mhm.
with teens who may be homeless, do you find that you see them with fibroids or other issues
Yeah.
that will cause them to have issues with their pregnancies?
Yeah, and so let's start first, Kim, by just educating people because I'm going to tell you, I have been doing this work for a long time. I've seen so many different maternal health issues across the board, right? Um, and one of the things that we tend to see is fibroids during a pregnancy with African American women. Maternal health is a big push right now. I am advocating. Black women are more likely to die from childbirth at 3.5 times more than any other rate. And so, as we talk about fibroids, people need to understand what it is. It is tissue and muscle,
Yes,
right? That forms. There's different forms of fibroids based on where they are.
yes.
What causes tissue and muscles to form? People don't really have the clear definition, but a lot of it is hormonal. What we find in the African American community is a lot of us don't want to get pregnant young, and we start putting extra estrogen and progesterone in our bodies early. Okay. What happens with your maternal health is a lot of women don't even discover that they have fibroids. They may not have symptoms until they're pregnant. And you've got this tissue and muscle fighting to stay alive, and a new baby fighting to come to life in your uterus. That's why it's really important that we have these conversations, because fibroids during a pregnancy can be detrimental. One, you could have the issue of your baby not having enough room to grow
That's right.
because it's fighting against a fibroid in your uterus. You can deal with excruciating pain. And why are they normally the fibroids around that area? Because research has shown that they are hormonal. Your hormones start shifting during your pregnancy. So a lot of times when you start experiencing that pain during your pregnancy and you don't know what's happening, very important that you advocate for yourself. When we talk about fibroids, I want everybody to understand what it is. Most of the time they are non-cancerous, right? But they can cause all kind of problems.
Absolutely.
Placenta disruption, all kind of things when we're looking at maternal health. And so that's why it's important that we start our maternal health journey early, that first trimester. As soon as you find out or think that you are pregnant, you want to get ahead of any complication. But when you think about having fibroids and giving birth, fibroids can continue to cause extensive bleeding postpartum. If you don't know that you have fibroids, if the doctors cannot figure out why you are continuing to bleed, they need to be checking for fibroids, because they continue to disrupt the uterus. They continue to disrupt things that can cause extensive bleeding. You think about fibroids and things that are passed from mother to baby in DNA, and over processing of hormones that may be hereditary. It can cause fibroids in the next generation, and they not know and understand that, right? But their
Mm-hmm.
mothers dealt with fibroids, and the generation before her dealt with fibroids.
Those that are jumping on, fibroids are non-cancerous tumors that are located in the uterine wall and in the uterine area. And we do a surgery here called the UFE to remove the fibroids, but size and location make the difference. The size of them, the location of them. So if you are
Yes.
pregnant, or if you know anyone that's pregnant, and they are suffering with longer than normal periods, and they have not been tested or checked out for fibroids, it is very important, as you heard Thana just say, that this could actually be detrimental to the health of the baby and the mother.
Yeah.
And so it is very important that you all are getting tested. I am so thankful. Before we close out, I do want to do two last things. I want to just really emphasize that the USA Fibroid Centers advocates for women's health. We take the opportunity to have these conversations because we want women to have well-being, good information.
Yes.
We want to emphasize the importance of personalized care and offer minimally invasive treatments, especially that of the UFE. Thank you, Thana. What a great way to end this conversation. Thank you, Dion. I appreciate you for sharing your story. And thank you for everyone for watching tonight. Thank you. This platform, please share this with someone. Again, this is Talk About You. And I am Fibroid Ambassador Dr. Kym Lee King. I hope you have a wonderful evening. Thank you, ladies, and good night.